All right. Hello, happy Tuesday. So exciting that you joined me today. My name is Wendy Lee, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and we're going to do a little bit of paper crafting today. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful start of their new week. Yes, let me see. Let's make sure I am in the right place because that might not be good if I'm not. Let's see. Always takes me a moment to find it and make sure that I am in the right place. So I am just checking that out now. You guys probably are already talking to me. Yep. Yay. Hey, Mary. Good. Glad to see ya. Glad to see ya. All right. Perfect. So it looks like I'm in the right place, or at least I believe I am. So what are we going to do today? All right. So today we are going to play with a little bit of vellum on a background. So this is the card we're going to make. And this features some of our new products that will be coming out in the annual catalog. So currently we have a promotion going on called, I think the promotion is called Butterfly Bouquet. And it has an early release, which is exciting, of the Butterfly Brilliance stamp sets and the coordinating Brilliant Wings dies, which are these. Awesome. And then there's two additional limited release products that go with it during this early release period. One is the Butterfly Bijou Designer Series paper. So it's a 6x6 paper stack, and it's got some gorgeous, like I love this page here because the dies cut out the whole thing all at once. It's lovely. And then, you know, the back sides are really pretty. This is what we're going to use today, is we're going to use the back side of this particular sheet. But let's see if I can fan this out for you a little bit so you can see these prints. Maybe. Get this way. See if I can do it. Nope, I'm not doing a good job. Here, maybe we can do it this way. Nope, not working either. Well, I'll just kind of fan it out and show it. Maybe that's the better way to do it. It might be better when I switch over to the other screen. I'll do it there. That'll probably be a better way to see it. But it's really pretty. There's some really nice prints in there. And of course, there's two sides to everything, so that makes it even better. There's also a natural, like a wood grain paper that's got a really nice texture to it that is also part of this limited release period. So you can get the whole collection now through May 3rd, while supplies last, of course, for the designer paper. And then the new stamp set and dies will be in the new annual catalog as well. So if this is something that you're like, oh, I really like this one, I am gifting a free tutorial bundle for everyone that purchases either the whole collection or at least the bundle. So I've got that on my website, and if you need more information, let me know. I might have put it in the links of the video as well. I'll go back and check that and make sure I've got that there. And then I also wanted to tell you that I have teamed back up with Melissa Kerman and Melanie Hawken as part of the Makers Mojo team, and we are bringing you a Butterfly Bouquet stamp camp. So there are 12 actually it's going to be more than cards. So there's 12 projects. You can see a glimpse of my 4 projects in the background here, but there's going to be some fun folds. There's going to be some techniques. There's going to be some 3D. It'll be a really good an array of products or projects, I should say. So this one's going to feature PDF tutorial only. So you'll have written instructions for everything, and then there's a kit option as well. So you can get the whole kit. We cut everything, we send it to you. So much fun. So registration for that closes, I think I have that March 27th, if I have that correct. All right, are you guys ready to start playing a little bit and crafting? Yes, good. All right, let's make sure I'm here. Yes, oh, Elise, great. Thank you. Kathy, good morning. Jean, yes, I love that the dies cut the designer paper. And hey, Sharon, so glad you're here as well. I'm sure I've missed some of you because the comments go by so quickly and I can't always keep up with them. So hey, Tammy, so glad you're here as well. All right, so I'm going to switch my camera over. So you guys know I've been playing a little bit with lighting and whatnot. And of course, I chose to do a white card again today. So you guys will have to give me some feedback if it's better or not better. Still playing around with some things. I may change my desktop surface again The black kind of is nice on a light colored card, but it was funny last Tuesday after we did our session together in the evening, I have a Facebook Live with my Forget Me Not Club. So we do one of our club cards every night, and it just happened to be a black card. So you couldn't really see it on the background. So know that I'm not giving up yet on the lighting, and I want you guys to be able to see as well. Hey, Gwen, glad you're here. Hey, Melissa. Hey, my friend. So Melissa's jumping in. So Melissa's one of the talented ladies that is on the Makers Mojo team that's going to bring us some fabulous projects for our stamp camp. Yay. All right. So let me switch the video over to the project. That's the designer paper. I tricked you. So no, I wanted you to be able to see that designer paper a little bit better. So I've got that out there for you to be able to see. Let me grab this piece of paper here, my little cheat, and then let me flip this over as well. Oh, well, you can see the back of the thing. So it's got some really, really nice prints in there. So I'm excited about it. And again, really exciting that this right here, you literally can take this die and cut out those butterflies all at once, which is fabulous. Fast and easy, 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 easy. So we did, I've done a lot of cards with this stuff already. We did our team projects this past month. We feature a class every month, and this was the product suite that we looked at. And so they got to make 5 projects this last time. And then I've got some additional samples that you'll see posted on my blog in the coming weeks of a project that we did in our card club. So, all right, so this is the one we're going to do. So what I'm talking about here today is vellum and putting a vellum overlay over a background to kind of soften it up. So, you know, I love stamping a background and getting, getting all that detail and texture. Hey, Kay, so glad you're here. But sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, even when you use a light colored of ink. So today I wanted to show you that when you simply add a layer of vellum, it can really change the whole feel of the card. So let me move this out of the way and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have got a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch basic weight cardstock, and I'm going to bring in the stamp. So this is one stamp. It's all connected. And I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is such a large stamp that it's a little big for my hand. So I like putting it in here. And then I'm just going to put this piece of paper right in here. And maybe this is where my magnet needs to go. Let's just double check that. I'm trying to get it right in that hole. That should work out okay for me. All right, I'm going to slide this over just a smidge more. That's really dark, isn't it? The lighting. All right, looks like I need to work on that a little bit more. All right, so I am just taking the smoky slate ink and I am covering my butterflies here. And I'm just going to slide this right over and give that some pressure. So the nice thing about the Stamparatus is that if you miss some spots, you can always go back and stamp it. Oh no, I got pretty good, except for where my magnet was. Let me slide that magnet out of the way a little bit. Maybe I had it too deep, and we'll give that spot a little pressure. One more time. There we go, I connected it. All right, so then we'll put this away. So I don't know how you guys clean your stamps that are on your Stamparatus. I typically use my chamois, which I forgot to set up. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to close this and I'll clean that up later. All right. So here's what I want to show you. Let me bring the card back in and that layer we just stamped. So look at the difference and how it looks stamped versus having that overlay over the top. So it just is a really a nice contrast there. I think just softening that up a little bit with the vellum. So, all right. So let's go ahead and work on that piece of it. So we've got our basic card base. So I've got 4 1/4 by 11, and this is thick white. So for my card bases, I like to use the thicker cardstock. I think it works much, much better. All right, and then I am going to pop this layer up right on the front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Grab some of those. So it's actually a really fast and easy card, I think. It'll take you longer to set up your stamparatus, I think, than anything else, maybe. All right, make sure we're not upside down. Who's done that besides me? I have definitely done that many a time. All right, so that's down, and I'm just going to set this aside for a moment. So the next thing I want to do is work on my vellum layer. So I've got my vellum layer here, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And I want to go ahead and start my decoration here. So I took a piece of the designer paper, which is this one right here. I liked all the variation of color. And let's see what I do with those dies. There we go. And then I took this die right here, this detailed butterfly, and just laid it out wherever I wanted to lay it out and ran that through the die cutting machine. And so I've got this really fun variegated butterfly right here, which I love. I think that's really, really pretty. So I'm going to start and just place that right on my vellum. And I'm going to use just a little bit of liquid glue down in the center of the body. You could adhere it flatter, like add more adhesive to kind of get it a little flatter, but I actually really like it lifted, and I didn't have to put any dimensionals on it or anything. So it's just going to naturally lift up a little bit, which I think is nice. All right, perfect. I think that looks great. Next, I want to go ahead and bring in just a scrap of basic gray cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment and heat emboss it. So I'm bringing in my Versamark pad. This is my yucky one that I've had forever and ever and ever. So when you try a faux patina technique, it's going to make your pad look kind of gross, but it's okay. It still works fabulously. No worries. Oh, I didn't tell you. The stamp set that I'm using is Itty Bitty Birthdays. So it has some really nice sentiments in it, and I think you can do it for more than birthdays, and that's one of the reasons I like it. Let's see if I have it. Did I pull it? Of course not. It's probably on the other side of the room. That's how things work for me. Always, right? Yes, I think so too, Elise. I think that smoky slate does make it look like a sketch. That's part of the reason I picked it. All right, so we've dipped that in our white embossing powder. And then now we're going to heat that with our heat tool. So let me bring this bad boy in. Now you guys know I have a really old heat tool. It's got a metal tip exposed, crazy, right? So anyway, it still works, so I'm using it. So let's see if we can get this so that you can see the melting of the embossing powder, which is the magic. There it goes. Lovely. So you just hold the heat tool about an inch, inch and a half away from the cardstock, and you'll slowly move it around until you start to see the powder melt and become more of a solid. It gets shiny, right? So you don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it, it gets really dull, and it will also kind of turn brown if you go too far. If your paper catches on fire, not a good thing, right? All right. So next, I am bringing in the potted succulents die. So this, I love these. I haven't really used them much yet, but that's coming up in the next month or so. I'll be pulling these out. But I love this little label right here. So I'm going to die cut this out. We'll run that through the die cutting machine. And so we've got our little label right here. And then I'm just going to pull in some foam adhesive strips. It doesn't look like I grabbed any, but that's okay. Well, I'll just use dimensionals, I guess. I really wanted the foam. Let me look across the table real quick and see if I can grab it. All right. I did not find a piece of, I didn't find my foam adhesive strips, but what I did find is a little strip left over of some of the foam adhesive sheets. So I'm going to use that because that's going to work great as well. I just want something with a little more height and oomph to it, right? Make this nice and stable. So I'll peel the backing paper off and lay it on the back of my sentiment. So you could use dimensionals, you definitely could, but I wanted something a little heftier, I guess you could say. And so I'm just going to lay this right down on that layer. Cute. All right. The next thing I want to do is I want to die cut some letters. I want the word U. Oh, I was supposed to mask that and the U wasn't supposed to be there. Oh, darn it. I didn't do it. Should we redo? Let's pull it off. That means I'm going to have to die cut with you guys, but let's do it. Let's pull this off and do it properly because that changes the whole thing, right? All right, I'm throwing this in the trash. We're going to try again. So I'm bringing back in my scrap. This is what happens when you don't plan it ahead of time, right? So let me clean this stamp off so that I don't have ink where I don't want ink, right? We're just going to redo it. It's no big deal. Make sure that that is nice and clean. I don't want any residue coming off as I do this. So one of the things I like about the Versamark pad is that it's raised so you can see where you're inking. So I only want to ink up the Let's Celebrate. I don't want to ink up the U. Now you could mask this so many different ways. So you could use washi tape and put that over the top of it, or painter's tape, whatever makes you happy. But I am just inking up, and you can see it's shiny, I hope. So I'm just inking up the stamp for the Let's Celebrate and not the U. So totally did it wrong the first time, but that's okay. This time we'll get it right and it will look great and it will make more sense instead of saying, let's celebrate you, right? Okay. Trying again. Let's emboss this. I got a little messy. Let's see if I can get those little dots off. Looks like that was on my paper from before. So those are going to stay because they're already embossed on. All right, let's go ahead and heat emboss this. Perfect. And you guys might have noticed that when you use your heat tool, when you first use it the first time, it might take a little bit longer for the embossing powder to melt. But after you've used it a few times, it does a little quicker. And when I say that, I'm not talking like ever used it. I'm talking about in a sitting, right? So you do have to, anyway, I'm not making a lot of sense, I know it. All right, so I'm gonna bring in the little mini stamp and cut and emboss. Let's move this out of the way so we don't make a big mess. Let's bring this bad boy in. And I'm going to, let's see, make sure I'm reading my plate, place my die edge down, and my picture shows I need a cutting plate on both sides of my sandwich here. So I've got the number 1, then I need a number 2, and then I've got my cardstock with my die. I love that it's got the pictures and it shows us exactly what we need to do. And then I'm going to put my second plate 2 over the top carefully. All right. Now you want to make sure that these aren't stacked even at the end, all these plates here. It makes it easier for it to go through the machine if they're not all stacked up evenly. So I'm just going to crank this through. I don't normally like to emboss on camera, but I'll do it. All right. There we go. Now our sentiment makes so much more sense. Let's celebrate. And then we can just set this right back on. Oh yeah, there's plenty of stickum left. If there wasn't, I could just add a little bit of liquid adhesive. All right, I solved it. All better now. All right, so next we want to die cut out the word U. So I've got foam sheet that I peeled away and added basic white cardstock to one side. And then I am going to pull out letters from the Playful Alphabet dies. So we want the Y, whoops, a Y, O, and a U. And so I'm going to lay these and go run this through the die cutting machine. Perfect. So I've got these letters there. Great. So now all I need to do is peel and stick these down. Now grid paper helps a lot if you have a piece of grid paper that you can slide under. Let's see, I can probably steal the piece from the Stamparatus. It might be a little messy, but I'm going to do it anyway. So one other nice thing about Vellum is that you can lay this right on top of the grid paper and use this as a guide to get your letters straight. And you can see my label is actually really crooked when I do it like this. So let's see if I can get that a little straighter now that I can see that it was all crooked. All right, so let's go ahead and just peel the backing paper off the foam and lay these letters out. So I'm going to use the top. I think I do want it butted up though. I'm going to use that as a guide and see if that will help me get them straight. I'll slide that up just a smidge so I can use this line. I feel like that label is still a little crooked. I'm going to pull it up so many times that it's not gonna work, isn't it? Let's see if I can get that a little bit straighter. All right, I think I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can get that on a line. There we go. I'm going to peel the backing paper off of the O and place it next. And again, I'm butting it up to that label sort of, but I'm also using this line as a guide. And let's get the U. Now you could also put the letters on like a little piece of window sheet and line them up there and then use that to help you lay them down. That's a nice little trick that helps as well. But I think that worked out well. All right, let's move our grid paper out of the way. Now, anytime you adhere vellum to the front of your card, you've got to be careful where you place your adhesive because it's going to show through the vellum. So this is why I went ahead and built this layer before putting it on the front of the card. So I'm going to flip this over and now I can apply my adhesive behind areas that's going to be covered. So I can put a nice little bit of liquid glue right there because that's way covered, and maybe a little bit on my letters here. I don't need a ton of it. I just want to tack it on, and then maybe the center of this butterfly. Now, I could have put some of my embellishments on this layer as well before I did this so that I could put a couple dots of glue up there as well. I'm not going to worry about that. If it bothers me, I can go back in and adjust that in a moment. And then this is just going to lay right down on top. I'm going to hold it just a moment, let it sit in place. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it really changes the look when you add that vellum layer, I think. All right, let's bling it up a little bit. I forgot the bling on last week's card. Kay reminded me I didn't see it fast enough. So, all right, so let's first pull in some of our metallic pearls. I love these. So I'm going to pull these little baby silver ones. I think I like them because they're so little. They're cute. So we'll just put a sprinkling of a couple of those on. Nice. So this is where I could have done this first, so I could put some adhesive right behind those as well if I wanted to. And then we've got the pastel pearls. Now, the pastel pearls have been one of those things that have not been orderable. They come in, they go out, they come in, they go out. Today, they are not available to order. They're supposed to be available again the week of March 15th. So next week, I believe it is, we should be able to see these again. So hopefully that's the case. So I'm just going to pull one off, and it kind of matches a little bit. This is more of a blue, but you know, you could use whatever color you want. I chose that color because it kind of went with my butterfly. And you can see my original one, I did more of the lighter pinky purple. And then I've got another one that I did. And this one I used the more pink so that it just pulls out a different color in it. But fun, right? I love it. And every card is going to look slightly different based on the color selection that you chose. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So vellum is one of my favorites. And I just thought that this was a good technique to show you guys that you can really change the look just by adding a layer of vellum. Good? Yes, I hope you guys like this one. All right. I appreciate you joining me. Oh, should we stamp something on the inside? Let's go ahead and stamp something on the inside. We'll put a sentiment on the inside. I have the It's Your Day stamp, also from Itty Bitty Birthdays. And we'll stamp that in Smoky Slate just down in the corner to finish up our card. We could add some designer paper inside. You could stamp some butterflies if you wanted to. I decided to keep it super simple. And I've left it kind of generic so that you can use it for any celebration. And that's one of the things I love about that Itty Bitty Birthdays is that, well, it's great for birthdays. It's great for lots of different celebratory occasions. So, all right, I hope you guys love this one. So if you're enjoying the content, please share it with your crafty friends. I appreciate that. And if you're watching on the replay, I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I am excited about this week. I might end up with a grandbaby sometime today. I'm just not sure yet. We're waiting to hear more, but I'll keep you guys posted. Baby Bonnie might be making her appearance today. So fun and exciting at our house, right? All right, have a wonderful week. I hope you guys get some fun paper crafting time in, and I will catch you guys next Tuesday for another project. All right, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.